How well are you breathing? Is your breath habitually shallow and filled with anxiety and stress, where you're just taking in the minimum amount of air? Or do you breathe deeply and fully, all the way down to your belly, to your diaphragm, taking in as much of the juiciness of life that it has to offer you? I'm Laura Lee Humphreys, and in this episode of Faces of Freedom TV, I'll be sharing with you one of the easiest and simplest ways of nourishing yourself. And at the same time, if you're not paying attention to this, it can generate a lot of problems, diseases, and health concerns for you. So you're going to want to stick around, and I'll explain to you why it's so important to become more conscientious of the quality of your breath and how that can lead you to creating a life that you love. Now, this video is part of the series, of the self-care series, that's all about the body-based template I created called the 7 Source Channels of Nourishment. And today we're talking about the 5th gate, or the 5th channel of nourishment, and that is your throat. And your energy system correlates to the throat chakra. Your thyroid gland of your endocrine system is located in your throat. And this is also the passageway where air enters into your lungs. So what we're really talking about here is the quality of your breath. And to do that, then I want to ask you a series of questions that you can think about, and I'd like you to journal on them. And that will give you a pretty good idea of what this gate or channel is all about. All right, so let's dive in, okay? So the first question is, do you engage your full rib cage, the front and the back side of your rib cage, when you're breathing all the way down to your belly and to your diaphragm? Or is it more shallow and you're just barely sipping in a little bit of air, where your upper diaphragm, your lungs, the upper part of your chest is the only thing that moves? The next question is, do you breathe so that you're really leaning into all of the juiciness and the experiences that life has to offer you, all of the potentials and possibilities? Or do you hold yourself back and your breathing is real shallow and timid because there's so much trauma and stress and anxiety and just tension going on in your life? And so the muscles of your rib cage and of your chest area are all tense, and so it's more difficult for you to take a deep breath. Okay, so the next question to ask yourself is, does the quality of your breath reflect a desire to not really engage in your life because of all of that tension and stress that I mentioned? So that's kind of part of the last question. Does your breathing really, truly nourish you, or do you just not even think about it? And a lot of times, I don't think we do. Another question to consider and ask yourself is, what is the nature of your words? Are they positive, expansive, and life-enhancing? Or do you speak words whose energy that's on your breath that goes out into the world? Does that energy of your words cast spells of negativity, constriction, division, conflict, and chaos? What are you putting out into the world with your words? Are you speaking your truth frequently, comfortably, confidently? And when you have a goal or a desire or a vision for what you want in your life, can you articulate that in such a way that you inspire and encourage people to join with you and support you on that vision or that mission or quest of what you want to create in your life? Do the words that you speak push people away because they're filled with negativity and criticism and judgment? So just think about how you're using your words, how you're breathing. Does all of this nourish you energetically, emotionally, physically? So those are some things to think about. Now let's consider the next piece of this channel of nourishment, and that is the environment in which you live. Does the quality of the air in your home and your work environment nourish and sustain you? Or is it poisoning you with unseen gases and fumes of noxious chemicals? You know, all in our environments, there's all kinds of things that are off-gassing chemicals. Things like your upholstery, your bedding and sheets, curtains, furniture, new carpet, and new shower curtains. All of these things have chemicals that are off-gassing into the environment, and oftentimes they're petrochemicals, they're known carcinogens, they're very harmful toxic chemicals that are in your environment that you're breathing in all the time, day and night. Additionally, there's a lot of microbes, molds, bacteria, spores, dust spores that are floating around in the air that are very microscopic and small that we're also breathing in all the time too. So if you never air out your living environments, you're breathing all of that stuff in, and over time it can create a lot of problems in your respiratory passageways, in your sinuses, and your lungs, creating a lot of asthma. So there's a lot of things that go on in our environment if we're not paying attention to the air. Additionally, look at the household cleaners that's in your home environment. How many of them have very, very toxic carcinogenic ingredients and chemicals in them, as well as plastics, things that your children's toys are made of, air fresheners, detergents, dry cleaning for your clothes. All of that off gases into the environment that you breathe, and that contributes to all the asthma, the respiratory problems, which we've seen a big rise in recent years. So when you look at all that, then you understand how important it is to actually air out your living environment, get the air to move so that all of these things can be moved out. Air has to move in order for it to be alive. In order for it to nourish you, it's got to move. So consider that. And if you don't air out your environment where there's all of these chemicals and microbes that you're breathing in, then you couple that with all of the emotional tension and stress and chaos and trauma and things about your life that you're having a difficult time with, such that you're holding back and not breathing deeply. You're setting yourself up for a lot of problems by doing that. So let's pay attention to this, unwind it, do a few changes so that your living environments and the air in them are more healthy and life supportive for you. Okay? Another area to consider is when you walked into a room that was kind of dark and closed in, and the air was just dark, dank, and smelled. Yeah, it wasn't clean. It hadn't been moving for a long time. It's not an environment that you want to stay in. As with everything, movement is life. Air has to move too. So when was the last time you just simply opened up the doors and the windows in your home and let air move and circulate? If ever. If not, why don't you? You know, there was a study done several years ago. They wanted to know what was the best, most efficient, and most cost-effective way to purify the air. So they pulled out all of these different air purifiers and fans and such, and they tested them all. And they ranked them on all the different scores of whatever the test criteria was about. And you know which one won? The simple, humble, inexpensive ceiling fan. Very simple. You don't need to make a big complicated deal of it. Just simply turn on your ceiling fan, let it run, and clean off the blades from time to time and let that circulate the air. It's just very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. When air moves, it's alive. If you let it sit too long, then it starts to get dank and stale, and it dies. In order for the electrical force in air to stay charged, the air has to move. It's the electrical force in the air that helps you breathe and thus sustains your life. It's life force energy, again, that we're talking about, bringing life force into you. How are you doing that? In all of the different ways in the channels or gates of the 7 source channels of nourishment that we're talking about in this series. So in ancient times, then air was considered to be spirit, or another word for air was spirit. So it meant to take in breath, to be inspired, to fill yourself with life force energy, with life, to be inspired and invigorated, to receive inspiration from the air around you. So take that into your journaling and considering of the things that I'm sharing with you today, of how are you allowing your breath and the air to inspire and invigorate you, to bring greater life into you. You know, one big and easy way to do that, in addition to using the ceiling fan, is to simply diffuse essential oils into your home environment. The molecules of the essential oils are very small, so they circulate through the air. They break up and dispel and really get rid of bad odors, rather than, as opposed to just covering them up, which a lot of air fresheners do. They don't really take out the bad odors. Good quality essential oils will. Additionally, when you're breathing those molecules in through your air passageways, then you're receiving the therapeutic, healthful benefit of those quality oils, provided you've got good quality, high, clean, pure essential oils that you're diffusing into your environment to help rejuvenate and freshen the air, create an environment that you want to hang out into. So how do you know if you're using good quality essential oils? Well, oftentimes you don't, unless you send the bottle to a lab to have it analyzed so that you actually know what is inside the bottle. Most oils on the market in this country, because essential oils are not regulated, then you could have anything in that bottle of oil. It could be odorless, synthetic chemicals, alcohols, man-made chemicals that are actually irritating to the skin. And there could only be up to, like, say, 5% or less in the bottle that's actually essential oil. And even of that, it could be more like a floral water, or the water which is the water that's left over from the distillation process. Or it's an essential oil that was not, where care and attention was not given as to the proper time that the plant needed to be distilled at the proper temperature in order for all of the compounds and the molecules, constituents of that herb to be fully drawn out in as the essential oil. And so you're getting like a partial or a half-baked essential oil, you could call it. So you really want to make sure that where you source your oils from can provide you with the documentation and can show you exactly what is in the bottle of oil. You also want to consider how the plant was produced, how it was harvested, where it was grown, what kind of quality of soil was it? Was it grown organically? Was there a lot of pesticides and herbicides and harmful chemicals and glyphosate, Roundup, sprayed on those plants? If so, all of those toxic chemicals go into the plant, they become part of the essential oil, and you receive those harmful effects. You can't separate those chemicals out from the essential oil of the plant. So you want to make sure that if you're going to diffuse essential oils into your environment to clean and enliven and refresh the air, that you use an essential oil that will actually do that. And by having essential oils that you know exactly what's in the bottle, you know what the chemical profile of that essential oil is, then you can be assured that you are, and that you're receiving health enhancing benefits by breathing in and diffusing that essential oil. So if you'd like to know the brand that I use, I'm happy to share it with you. Just drop me an email, and I'm happy to tell you what I use. Another resource is what kind of oil. There's a lot of different essential oils on the market, or a lot of different plants that oils come from. So how do you know what oils do what? Well, there's a lot of good resource books and reference books on the market that can explain to you what oils do what the different properties and qualities of the oils are. I have a really excellent resource or reference book of essential oils that if you'd like to know what that is and where you can source it from, then again, drop me an email and I'm happy to share. So with that, I also have the 7 source channels of nourishment, the template, the lifestyle template that you can download. So I'm giving you lots of gifts today. Just ask me about the oils, ask me about the reference book, and grab the download that's available. Just click on the link to download your lifestyle template of the 7 source channels of nourishment. Do the assessment and see how you rank in these various areas of your life that I'm sharing with you in this series. How are you nourishing yourself with fresh, pure air and essential oils? So with that, that's my question for you. Did you find value in this video? How do you clean and refresh the air in your environment? What's the quality of breath and breathing that you do? Does it help sustain and deepen your quality of life? So I'd love to hear from you. Drop a line below in the comments. Subscribe to this channel, Faces of Freedom. Each week I'm always giving you some more tips and resources to give you for you to use and implement in your life to create a life that you love. So subscribe to my channel, share it with others who you think can benefit from this, and click the notification bell to receive notifications from when I'm doing more videos. You can also check me out on my website, lauraleehumphreys.com, and on social media, especially on Facebook, under my name, Laura Lee Humphreys. So until then, stay refreshed, breathe deeply, and enjoy your life, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.